welcome to the September 2013 Employee Recognition Ceremony. I am Joanne Swenson, Chair of the Employee Recognition Committee. Our committee has been in existence since 1997 and was formed to initiate and coordinate an Employee Achievement Award program to reward city employees for a job well done. Currently, our 10 members are employed from various city departments. I would like to thank the committee members for their year-long efforts to the committee. Our members not only put on the ceremony, they also provide refreshments for you, as well as attend monthly meetings and review Service Number 1, Hats Off, and Kudo Award nominations. Please join me in thanking the Employee Recognition Committee members, Agnieszka Brooks and Sharon Simrick, Lucinda Grant, Sue Holmer, Helene Neal, Captain Rob Nugent, Marcy Reedy, Kim Tyre, and India Williams. I would like to begin the ceremony by thanking all the employees that are receiving awards today, even those not in attendance, for their years of service. These employees would not be here today if it were not for the decades of support they have received from their friends and family. To our employees receiving awards today, when your name is called, please bring your friends and family with you to the podium so they may be recognized alongside with you. We ask that you stand to the left of the podium. We've got a little line here for you, and you can receive your plaque at that time. The senior staff joining us today are Mayor Bill Foster, City Administrator Tish Elston, Leisure and Community Services Administrator Clarence Scott, Assistant Chief Williams, and Assistant Chief Bassett. I would now like to introduce Mayor Bill Foster.
Well, good morning. Thank you all for coming out. The department of the day is stormwater. Wow, it doesn't seem like it's going to stop raining, but you are at Sunken Gardens. We call it our rainforest for a reason. But thank you all for coming out and braving the rain. And thank you all for what you do. These are longevity awards, but you're not just filling a spot. You wouldn't make 20 years. 25 years, 30 years, 4 people making 35 years. I'm not even that old. You wouldn't have these moments of longevity had you not been performing at a very high level. Have you not gone through these evaluations and done your job above and beyond the call of duty? You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't be here. So thank you. These recognitions mean that you've been a role model, a mentor, that you have dedicated your service to the people of St. Petersburg. And I'm here to say thank you to the ones that actually make it happen. You are the ones that make the magic occur in St. Petersburg. We're a great city, and we're thriving because of you. And I'd like to begin the employee recognition ceremony, so eventually she can actually sit up here and take part. One of my own is receiving a 25-year recognition with the city of St. Petersburg. I'd like to invite Tish Elston to come up, and her family. She's here with son Ian, grandson, her husband of 44 years, Carl. Now I'm going to read the script, and I only have 1 minute. I know, and I abide by the rules, and then I'll go off just a tad. Tish is receiving a 25-year recognition. She's been city administrator since October of 1999. Previously, she was the director for budget management for 10 years and the fiscal services administrator for 1.5 years. She has a degree from Indiana University in police administration. I like this, her memorable work moments. These are fond memories of the past. Short council meetings. Yeah, I like that. She's a member of Grace Lutheran Church. She enjoys singing in the church choir. She's also on their Board of Finance and Stephen Ministry. There she enjoys travel, reading, sewing, crafts, her grandchildren. She collects mares. I like that. Tish has been literally somebody that I've relied upon since I took office in 1998. She's been very responsive to city council members, everything I ever needed, from David Fisher's administration to Rick Baker's. Everything I ever needed, Tish provided, and she provided with great counsel and service to city council members as the legislative body. And then, lo and behold, I became the mayor. And I relied upon her expertise, her historic knowledge, her knowledge of all things city, budget, departments, HR. I mean, just this vast knowledge of these city departments to help as we reorganized, as we downsized, as we right-sized, as we cut tens of millions of dollars out of the budget. I relied upon her expertise. She is somebody that I trust with everything that I have, that the city has. She is a person of great character. She is active in her church. She loves the Lord. She loves her family. She has her priorities in order. But I will say that there are those moments that I've been in City Hall on a Saturday thinking that I could just catch up on my reading alone in the peace and quiet of an empty City Hall, but it wasn't empty. Tish was there. So she has committed her entire, I want to say, life outside of the family and whatnot. 25 years is pretty close to a lifetime when you're working with a city and its inhabitants. But she's been right there the whole time. Passionate public service. So please help me recognize my senior administrator, my friend, Tish Elston. Yes.
Just a couple quick words. Did he say that I was a character and I needed to be committed?
Yes.
All right. Maybe he's right. But I did want to say, 20 and 25 years are milestones, but for me, it's incredible to see the people in our organization who are getting their 30 and 35-year awards, and knowing that we have a ton of people out there who have more than 40 years of service to the city of St. Petersburg. I just want to thank you all for what you do. Thanks to the Employee Recognition Committee for being able to bring forward your stories. That's what's really important, and that's what makes this city tick. So have a great ceremony, and I'm sorry I won't get to share the rest of it with you. And thanks to my family for always being there to support me.
This time I would like to invite the Vice Chair of the City Council to come up and greet you and say a few words. Councilmember Bill Dudley.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I will say that first I thought it was just going to be eye candy. I've had that problem all my life, but anyway. Now, this is a great day for ducks, and we should all be encouraged that this rain will bring out the duck population. They just love it, and it's liquid sunshine God provides for us to beautify the plant growth. It makes our city look wonderful. Of course, it makes the Parks Department's going to have to work a little harder. They got a lot of trimming to do, but aside from that, it's an honor. It's always a pleasure to come to these recognition ceremonies because, as the mayor said, you are what makes the city go. We can't do it without you, and people take for granted. I know you've heard it before, but it is so true. When they go to the golf course, or they turn their water tap on, or they flush the toilet, somebody's there making that all work. And you're there 24/7, 365 days a year. There's somebody taking care of what makes our quality of life great. And I do thank all of you. And again, it's a pleasure to be here. A little rain never hurt anybody. What the heck? I'm anxious to see if I get my umbrella back when I go downstairs. Somebody may like it, and but anyway, thank you and God bless you, and I appreciate all you do for the city.
Okay, our first service award today is going to be for the department of the day, Stormwater, Pavement, and Traffic Operations. If I could have Jerry Fortney come to the front. He's going to be introducing John Paquette.
Good morning. My name is Jerry Fortney, and we're here to recognize John Paquette, a 30-year service employee. On this nice rainy day, it's nice to know that John is one of our stormwater operations foremen. John started out his career at the golf course as a greenskeeper in 1983. He worked 2 years in the street department, has been an equipment operator, and has come over as a stormwater operations foreman, which he has done an excellent job. Some of the things that John has done over the term of his service here has been one of the Clam Bayou project. I don't know if you all know the new bicycle trail that went through the Clam Bayou project, but John was instrumental on building that. We've done a lot of landscape projects. We've done a lot of stormwater projects. And also, John was involved in the recovery of remains that were found, I believe it was on 275. During the general maintenance days, one of John's most memorable things that he did was we actually constructed vaults on the main water line coming from Cosme. We were working 70 to 90 hours a week during the summer, and most of the time we were 15 feet in the ground, and it was brutal. John was our key operator on that. John also, before he came to the city, worked in landscaping. He worked in the restaurant business. His hobbies are golf. He tries to play golf, rather. He's operated a restaurant. And John also is a fisherman, but whenever you go fishing with him, please do not listen to him as a weatherman, okay? John has enjoyed his co-workers here and all the accomplishments that he's made with stormwater. His crew, all of them took the day off today to come for him to receive his award. John has been married for 30 years to his excellent wife, Karen, which I've known both of them for most of those 30 years. And John, I'd just like to say thanks for everything that you've done.
And just so you know, I went to high school with Johnny, so we go back to 9th grade, and he's got some stories on me, I've got some stories on him. We both promised that you'd have to waterboard us to get it out. We'll take those to our grave, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I just want to thank everybody for, especially my crew. I couldn't have done it without them. Thanks a lot.
The next department, excuse me, is going to be our fleet department, if Joe Kreisen is here. Joe's going to be introducing Dennis Coley.
Good morning. I'm Joe Kreisen, Director of Fleet Management, and I'm here today to recognize Dennis for 30 years of employment with the city, all 30 years at Fleet. Currently, Dennis is assigned to the specialty equipment shop as an equipment mechanic, servicing and maintaining various equipment, both on and off-road equipment. But actually, during his 30 years, Dennis has served time in every shop at Fleet. Dennis holds an ASE Master Certification and heavy truck, and also has several automotive ASE certifications. He is a graduate from St. Pete Christian High School and also attended Pinellas Vocational Technical Institute. Dennis is a native of St. Petersburg, and as a matter of fact, his father served as a police officer for the city of St. Petersburg, as well as his maternal grandfather, who was one of the original trolley drivers for the city of St. Petersburg, and that's how his grandmother met his grandfather. Before coming to work for the city, Dennis worked for a medical manufacturing company as a production supervisor doing research and product development. He's involved in his community. He has served as vice president of the Lakewood Estates Civic Association and also Neighborhood Crime Watch coordinator. Dennis has attended Calvary Chapel of St. Petersburg for 30 years, where he serves as an elder. Dennis and his wife Kim are involved in counseling, parenting classes, children's ministries, and last year Dennis was honored by performing his first wedding ceremony. And unfortunately has also performed one funeral. Dennis has a very interesting hobby. He is an aviation archaeologist, where he does research and locating and documenting of crash sites for U.S. aircraft that was lost in Florida during World War II. This research has included 5 crash sites here in the city of St. Petersburg. Dennis has been married to his wife Kim for 25 years. They have 2 daughters. Both have been homeschooled. Laura, 15, is in the 10th grade and learning how to drive. Dennis is teaching her how to drive, which we all know is a very scary moment for any parent. So my thoughts are with you on that, Dennis. And Sarah, 22, who will be graduating from nursing school in December. Please join me in congratulating Dennis Coley for 30 years of service to the city.
Okay, our next department is going to be Parks and Recreation. Mike Jeffries, if you want to come up.
Good morning. This morning I have the honor of congratulating Adrienne Douglas on 25 years of service with the Parks and Recreation Department. Adrienne started in 1988. She was actually hired by Jet Jackson at Campbell Park and quickly was promoted to Frank Pierce, where she was a youth development worker. She currently is the teen supervisor for our teen programs at Frank Pierce. This summer, Adrienne was awarded the Parks and Recreation Outstanding Performance Award, and I will tell you that that award was given to Adrienne because of her interaction with the teens, for her implementation of the JWB grant that we have. I will tell you that I get calls all the time about Adrienne's program. Adrienne has a funny story where she'll actually stand at the front door of the Frank Pierce Recreation Center on report card day. She will look at every middle schooler's report card and decide which path that student takes. Do they get to recreate and have fun, or do they get to go for extra tutoring? I will tell you that extra tutoring has paid off. We have many parents who compliment her initiatives and who actually see the improvement in their student instantaneously. Adrienne graduated from Pinellas Park High School, and she's attended classes at St. Pete College. She currently is also employed by Pinellas County School Board and their data division. When she has free time, she is a volunteer for the St. Pete Little Devils. She coaches cheerleading. She also volunteers at the South Heritage Nursing Home, Ronald McDonald House, and she's active in the Bartlett Park Neighborhood Association. I had trouble getting details from Adrienne. She commented twice that she doesn't like to toot her own horn, and I can tell you that that's been the case all 25 years, which is, I think, is a very positive trait. She enjoys spending time with her family And she really enjoys watching the teens that come through the Frank Pierce program. She really enjoys watching them mature and turn into contributing adults. She claims that she's enjoyed every day of the 25 years that she's worked at the city of St. Petersburg. I'm not sure, but that's we'll take it. Unfortunately, her husband and her son are not able to attend. They are educators. They both teach in local middle schools. And as is obvious, the entire family enjoys working with children. I did ask her what her favorite memory was, and she indicated that her favorite memory, hands down, was watching her son graduate from Florida A&M University. Please help me congratulate Adrienne on 25 years. Next, I'd like to call up John Lapham. John is celebrating 25 years of service with the Parks and Recreation Department as well. I will tell you that John actually started in 1986, but did have a break in service. John is a youth development worker at JW Cate, the rec center over on 22nd. John works rentals and off hours on weekends. I talked to Jen Ross, John's supervisor, and John is described as a pillar, really the backbone for the rec center. He is there. He's very dependable. When he gets an assignment or there's a special rental at an off time, you know John will be there, the building will be open on time, and that we will have no issues. John has worked all over the Parks and Recreation system. He has worked our summer camps and after-school programs at Walter Fuller, Gladden Park, and Lake Vista. He's also worked as a teen worker at Walter Fuller. He's also worked as a night and weekend worker at Walter Fuller, Gladden Park, and Willis S. Johns. And on occasion, he works with Tasco for their special events and transportation, and he is a van driver for Tasco. In '94, John received the Leisure Services Employee of the Month Award. And in '93, John received the Lewis A. Leonard Safety Award, which is a huge accomplishment. Very few people get that award. John has earned the school-age child care professional credential, and he's also earned the Level 2 Director's Credential, which really shows his commitment to child care and quality child care, which is what we're ultimately seeking. John currently works for the City of Gulfport and their Parks and Recreation Department. We won't ask him which department's better. I think we know the answer to that. John has also worked for Xerox and Allstate Insurance. When John's not working at either of the recreation jobs, he volunteers at the Gulfport Senior Center. He helps teach computers and helps that age group understand and feel more comfortable with technology. John is a former soccer coach for the Azalea Eagles and an avid fan of the Gators, the Rays, and the Bucks. I asked John what his favorite work memory was, and he said that the first memory that came to mind, he was working out at Gladden Park. He was working with a mentally challenged adult who was shy, who was nervous, who really needed to come out of his shell. It took John a couple of months to really get this individual comfortable, and John taught him how to shoot basketball. And basically, once he made his first shot, every time John showed up at that center, that participant was waiting for John to play basketball with him. So definitely helped that individual come out of his shell. One of the interesting points about John that I did not know, John was one of the smallest infants born at all children's. He weighed 1 pound 6 ounces when he was born. So please help me congratulate John on 25 years of service.
Morning. The next department being recognized is our fire department. If I could have Assistant Chief Bassett come on up.
Morning, everybody. John, if you'd like to come forward. John Haverty. I have the pleasure this morning to introduce you John Haverty. He's a 30-year member of St. Petersburg Fire and Rescue. He was hired in August of 1983. He was promoted to medic in September of 1989. He currently is at Fire Station Number 12 in the Shore Acres area. Some awards that he's received in the past is John received the 1993 Burt Smith Paramedic of the Year Award, which we still do today, which he's voted on by other members of the department for his services that he provided as a paramedic. Some of the activities he does on the outside hobbies, he's a commercial pilot and flight instructor. He's been that since 2008. He's a former dive team member, EMS preceptor, former hazmat, and he's a current engine driver. I had the pleasure of working with John at Fire Station Number 7 when I was promoted to lieutenant back in the 90s, and I appreciated his leadership at the station, and he definitely helped me along as I started a new adventure in my career then, so I appreciate that very much. A memorable work moment that we were talking about earlier is that when he was a diver, he has his dive partner here today, who I'll introduce in a minute, which is Chief Adamides. And he was there when we had a vehicle accident that involved the fire department vehicle and was able to render care to the individual who was in that vehicle, who is also here today to support John. So congratulations on 30 years, and John Haverty. Dean Adamides, if you could come forward, please. Do you have any family with you? This is Dean Adamides. He is a district chief on the C shift. He's also receiving his 30-year award. He's here with his wife, Trish, who works for the police department. Dean has been several places during his career, but you'll find a common theme as I ride through it. He was originally stationed at the old Station 5, which we now call the Master Fire Station in downtown St. Petersburg when he started as a firefighter EMT. He was promoted to lieutenant and again was stationed at number 5 in downtown St. Petersburg. He was promoted to captain. We made him go out to Shore Acres for a small amount of time and then back down to the Master Fire Station in downtown St. Pete. And currently he is in charge of the downtown area as the district chief. He was the 1995 Fire Officer of the Year. I will tell you, he received it one time, but has probably been nominated numerous times over his career because of his professionalism. He has a degree from the University of Phoenix, a Master in Business Administration. He's a graduate of Eckerd College, Bachelor of Arts in Information Systems, and he has 2 degrees from St. Petersburg College in Fire Science Technology in Prevention and Suppression. Prior to coming to us in the city of St. Petersburg, Chief Adamides was at the Treasure Island Fire Department in 1981 to 1983. His community involvement is Xavier Catholic Church. He's been a member since 2005. He works with North Manatee Little League. He's assistant T-ball coach for his son. And St. Vincent de Paul Society Food Center, he's been a volunteer since 2000. His hobbies are, of course, spending time with his family. He's an avid cycler, and he's into physical fitness. I give you Dean Adamides, 30 years of service.
The next department that's going to be presenting is our police department. If I could have Assistant Chief Williams come up.
Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to bring Lyric Boyd forward with his family for his 25 years of service. Lyric, can you come forward, please? Lyric is joined this morning by his mother, his sister, his children, his girlfriend, his brother-in-law, and his nephew, and his grandson. I like to describe Lyric as a dedicated, hard, independent worker. He's been with us for 25 years. He's a transplant from the city of Chicago, and actually it's been a plus for St. Petersburg to actually have him come onto the organization. Again, he's been a patrol officer. He's worked as our housing officer, which calls for him to work with our housing establishments to make sure that the tenants and the management at those housing complexes are basically having a good relationship not only with the police department but with other city staff. Currently, he is the school resource officer at Lakewood High School. So he's the first one that I called up because when the SRO is away, the children will play. One of his most enjoyable, and where he spent a lot of time, was at the Police Athletic League, where he served as the executive director at the PAL. And we've had very famous people from Joe Theismann all the way to Derek Brooks has actually come and supported our young people at PAL. So he's always been interested in helping our kids, and he does a very good job of it. He's a volunteer with the 5,000 Role Models. He's the president of the Lakewood PTA and was the state president for the Police Athletic League. One of his hobbies is that he loves to travel, and I know personally that he's a fine cook. He likes fine dining, and I think he's close to being a certified chef. He loves all sporting events, and again, he's been doing an outstanding job for us at the police department in his 25 years that he's been here. He's an individual that works in the community and works with the community, and it's been a pleasure to have worked side by side with him when he was with the Police Athletic League, and it's a pleasure to see him and his family, and I wish you best of luck and continue to serve us for many more years. Go, Larry Boyd, 25 years of service. Sergeant Joe Pratt, would you please come forward? I see that Joe is joined by Debbie Sathoff and April Grasso. If y'all like to come up, because I know you all the ones who actually do the work, so you can come up with him. Go well. Actually, I like to think of Joe, and I like to describe him as an organizer of chaos. He's over our special events unit, and he does many, many special projects for the police department. And if you think about, everybody's familiar with Gary Dukeman and the wonderful job that he did with special events. But Sergeant Pratt came in and stepped in some pretty big shoes, and he's actually filled them very well. I can think back to, you can tell the calendar by the special events that we had, and it used to be 4, the St. Anthony's Triathlon, 4th of July, ML King Parade, and then New Year's. But now we have events every day of the week, it seems. And I can tell you that there will be playoff baseball in the Trop. So he'll be planning for that as well coming up. His prior assignments, he's been in patrol as a patrol officer. He's worked on the DUI squad where he's made numerous arrests and kept our city streets safe. And what impressed me most about him is that he's a traffic homicide investigator. He's able to do any kind of math that you can think of, even math that I can't even pronounce. But when you describe yaw marks and the causation of traffic crashes and speeds and estimating speeds and the point of impact, he is an expert at doing that, and he really excelled as the traffic homicide investigator. He's a field training officer, and he's actually one of our I-Leads liaisons, and he works on many special projects to include our CYA project, which is a new software program that we've gotten to make sure that our off-duty assignments are assigned equitably across the board, and he's done a great job of that. He was a nominee for the 2008 Officer of the Year, and he's been a 2-time Employee of the Quarter Award winner. And that's only because people stopped putting his name in because he could win it almost every time. He holds a Bachelor's of Science degree from, I don't know where you got it from Troy University. And his former employment was Tech Data and Kmart, okay? Again, his community involvement is that he helps with many city co-sponsored events, the Crime Prevention Run, he volunteers for that, the Taste of Pinellas, and the Special Olympics Torch Run. And he's also a Salvation Army basketball volunteer. His hobbies is that he enjoys golf and basketball. And I just want to thank Joe for the opportunity to come in early mornings. We sit down and we talk about work, we talk about family, we talk about fatherhood, and it's a pleasure to have you not only as a coworker but also as a friend. Congratulations. Congratulations. Joe Pratt, 25 years. Sergeant Terrell Skinner. Sergeant Skinner is joined by his wife Yvonne. They've been married for 22 years, and she only looks 22 herself. I like to describe Terrell as a quiet leader. Terrell is enjoying his 25th year with the police department, and currently he is the homicide sergeant for the police department. And when you think about the homicide and the death of humans, basically, having served in that unit, I know that the detectives feel that they're the final voice for that victim. And it's an especially doubly important responsibility for the supervisor to ensure that those investigators are going out and investigating those calls and the homicides as thoroughly as they can to ensure that not only we get the suspect in custody so that there can be some closure for the family, but also from a procedural standpoint and from a legislative standpoint that we're actually dotting our I's and crossing our T's, and that's very, very important. And Sergeant Skinner does a wonderful job of supervising that squad and making sure that occurs. His previous assignments has been as a patrol officer, a community policing officer. He was a burglary detective, a robbery detective, and a homicide detective. There's not much in investigations that he has not done. He served as a patrol sergeant and also as a sergeant in our street crimes unit. He was a 2004 recipient of the Ned March Award and 2010 Elks Club of the Year, Unit of the Year award for the homicide unit. So obviously the community has recognized the impact that not only the unit has had, but that you've had as a supervisor. He holds an Associate of Arts degree from St. Pete College and is a graduate of the 2005 class of Leadership St. Pete. One memorable moment that he mentioned was that he actually oversaw the homicidal investigations of our officers that were killed in the line of duty. And of course, that case, like all the other cases, was especially important that we were actually tasked with doing the right thing and making sure that the case was complete. His prior employment was that he worked with Allstate. He worked with the St. Petersburg Times and also with Albertsons grocery store. What'd you do at Albertsons? He was a bag boy at Albertsons. Okay. Again, he's a member of the 5,000 Role Models of Excellence, and he's been a longtime volunteer with the Lakewood Junior Spartans football team, and he continues to do that. What many don't know about him, that he is a pretty good bass player. He plays for his church, which is Puritard Church of God in Christ. And so he's very good. He's a sports fanatic, and he loves reading. One thing, just looking at him, you wouldn't know, and I don't know where his kids get all their athletic ability. It must be from Yvonne. But he has 3 adult sons, aged 21, 22, and 26, and he has 2 granddaughters that are aged 2 and 8. And he has a son who's played for both the Minnesota Vikings and the Indianapolis Colts. Okay, so without any further ado, I want you all to join me in congratulating Sergeant Terrell Skinner on 25 years of valuable service. Sergeant Steve Mandakis. Sergeant Mandakis is currently a acting lieutenant. So I'm going to refer to him as the job that he's been doing, and that's being lieutenant. So Lieutenant Mandakis is up with us this morning for his 25th year. He's joined by his wife, Meg. And the way I describe Steve is that he is knowledgeable and one of the most tactically sound people that we have within the organization. And that's evident by the assignments that he's possessed while he's been here. Currently, he's in uniform, but in a past life and past assignments, you would rarely see him in uniform. Matter of fact, you see him and you say, is this person a police officer at all? But he's worked in a number of undercover capacities. From the very beginning, a unit that we refer to as SIU, and the Career Criminal Unit. Now they're known as the what do we call them now? Case unit. Okay, we've gone through so many different iterations of that unit, but each year and with each iteration of that change, the tactics that they use have increased and actually have helped us in our case closures and with keeping officers safe. He was a Ned March nominee and a Ned March Award recipient in 2005. And as you all know, the Ned March Award is awarded annually to two officers within the organization, two employees within the organization for outstanding police work. He has a Bachelor of Arts degree in criminal science, criminal justice from the University of South Florida. Go Bulls. And one of his most memorable moments was when he was able to see two detectives that were working for him who were shot in the line of duty return back to work. And again, as a supervisor, as a sergeant, I think many people think that you're just telling folk what to do, but I think, like many of us, you think about your people constantly. And I can tell you that Steve has always done what it is that he knows best for the men and women who work for him, and he's done a great job at that. As far as his community involvement, he's involved in the Mayor's Mentors and more, the Unity Tour 2014, the Ovarian Cancer Run, and also the Special Olympics Law Enforcement Torch Run. Some of his hobbies is that he loves golf, basketball, and flag football, which explains why he liked the Oakland Raiders. Okay, and I'm a Buccaneer fan, and we can go back. I can tell you about how they missed the field goal right wide left. Remember that one? Yeah. Okay, he was really tore up about that one. Additional information that he would like for you all to know is that his daughter is a senior at the University of Florida, and he has a son that is a junior at the University of Central Florida, and that Meg is faster than him in the 5K when they run. Okay? So with that, I'd like to present you all with Lieutenant Steve Mandakis for 25 years of service. And I talk with him probably 2 or 3 times a week, 2 a.m. in the morning, all the time. Okay, and last but not least, Detective Jane Story, please come forward. She has a cheering squad. Jane is enjoying her 30th year with the St. Pete Police Department, and she's currently assigned to our Accreditation and Staff Inspection Unit, where she's been there for 3 years. And my how time flies. It seems like she just got there yesterday. But Jane has a rich experience within the organization. A lot of it centers around children, but then the rest of it centers around the organization and making sure that the policies and procedures that we have in place are top of the line and best in the country. And because of her hard work, we've been accredited and reaccredited probably more than any other agency within the Tampa Bay area. So that speaks to not only to her hard work, but the group of individuals that work with her and that are supporting her in the back. Her prior assignments were the Internal Affairs Division, where she worked there for 4 years. She was also at the department recruiter for 2 years, and during the time that she was recruiting was a time where we really needed to hire individuals, and she did a wonderful job of traveling around the country, meeting people in the office, going to job fairs and what have you, so that we can make sure that we have the men and women in the pipeline so that when retirements happen, that we have men and women already trained to step into the job. And she did an excellent job at that. She spent a lot of time in the Youth Resources Division, where she was a school resource officer for 10 years. And she worked at Lelman Discovery, which I think that she set the standard for other school resource officers for volunteerism and getting mentors to engage with your particular school. So I know that there's been a number of rewards or awards that she's received for her work with Lelman Discovery and also with Southside Fundamental, where she worked. She was recognized by Disney for the Make-A-Wish Foundation and some of the projects that she's done. But what I want you all to understand about Jane, first and foremost, is that she cares about kids. And I think that when I describe her, when I think of her, I think about the care and commitment that she has for children. And Jane has 30 years. Hopefully you're going to do several more. But she's already mapped out what she wants to do as a plan. 3 years ago, she went and she got her license to become a licensed massage therapist. And I haven't been a patient yet, but I'm thinking about it. But what Jane wants to do once she retires is that she wants to move to Tennessee, and that's the home of St. Jude's Hospital. And she wants to be able to provide massages for children with cancer and also for their parents, for an opportunity for them to kind of take away from some of the hardships that they may be facing. I think that is extremely admirable of you, and I really appreciate that coming from you. Her past employment, she's worked in banking, she's worked in daycare, she's worked at Publix, and also Burger Chef. That's cool. But I personally wanted to thank Jane for what she does with our young people, and much luck and much success to you in your future endeavors in Tennessee. So congratulations.
The next award we're going to give out is our Service Number 1 Award. The Service Number 1 Award is intended to recognize outstanding service by an employee or group of employees, either to the public or another employee or department. The recipient for this award is going to be Zachary Hughes from St. Pete Fire Rescue, and Chief Bassett's going to come up and give the award.
Good morning again. I have the pleasure again to introduce you to Zachary Hughes. He was put in by our department for exceptional performance, and the committee was kind enough to give them this award this month. I'm going to read a little bit from the letter that went in on Zach's behalf, as well as Rescue 7 and Engine 7 who responded to the call that Zach was on. On March 26, 2013, Zach and Rescue 7 and Engine 7 responded to a 31-year-old in cardiac arrest in his work vehicle. He was found in this condition by a Good Samaritan, and when that Good Samaritan needed help, she found Zach. Zach was working out at a local gym off duty, was not on duty when this happened, and rendered care until the rescue crews arrived. The driver was removed from the cab of the vehicle with no pulse and not breathing. High-quality CPR was performed until the arrival of Rescue 7 and Engine 7, and the crews of Rescue 7, Engine 7, as well as Zach, worked tirelessly to try to resuscitate this patient who was reported to be in the cab for an extended period of time. 18 minutes after the first call to 911, the patient had a return of spontaneous circulation. What's remarkable about this story is that Zach was working out on his day off, like I said. He saw some commotion outside. There was a tractor trailer that was stopped in the middle of 4th Street. This gentleman was a 32-year-old man who was in full cardiac arrest. Zach assisted the patient out of the cab, performed CPR with no equipment until the rescue crews arrived. What's the great thing about this story is that this gentleman came and visited Zach after the fact. He's up, walking, no issues whatsoever, enjoying the rest of his life with his wife. And we're very proud of the crews that responded that day, as well as the Good Samaritan, and we're proud of Zach too. Thank you very much.
The next set of service awards is going to be given by our Water Resources Department. If I could have Lane Longley come on up.
Steve Levitt couldn't be here this morning, so he asked me to fill in for him. We have several employees to recognize this morning, so I'll try to make this as quick as possible. First, I would like to ask Kathy Kirkpatrick to come up, please. Kathy's also known as KK, and with her is Craven Askew, her chief operator. Kathy started working for the city in 1988 and is currently at our Northeast Water Reclamation Facility working as a water reclamation plant operator too. Days like this, those folks really earn their pay because a lot of the rainwater goes into the pipes and they get inundated, and where they put all the water, I have no idea, but they do a great job of it, and I appreciate it. In asking Kathy a little bit about her background, her work, she indicated to me that her best work moment really isn't a moment, but it's every day, because she really enjoys the people that she works with, and she gets a great deal of satisfaction out of people see a successful completion of their careers and so that they can retire. She stressed to me to mention her Irish heritage and also the fact that she was raised on a farm. She loves to spend time with her hounds and her chickens. She also enjoys riding her Harley Davidsons. She has two. She's a member of the Harley Davidson Owners Group, or HOG. Also the Elks, does quite a bit of riding with the American Legion and their riding group. Today with her is Craven Askew, her chief op. Will you have anything you want to add, Craven?
I'm Irish too, so we get along pretty good.
Anyway, I would like you all to join me in thanking Kathy for her 25 years of service. Thank you, Kathy. Next, I would like to ask Mr. Gail Crady to come up, please. Thanks, ma'am. I would like you all to join me in thanking Gail for 20 years of service. He's currently a water reclamation plant operator 2 at the Albert Whitted Water Reclamation Facility. He started off with the city 1993 in June, working for Leisure Services, kind of bounced back and forth between public utilities at that time and Leisure Services. Actually worked at our Cosme Water Treatment Plant for a while and got his backflow prevention certification in water distribution. But he came on board with wastewater treatment plants, has his B certification now, and or his B license, and is just a outstanding operator working for Randy Curtis down at the Albert Whitted plant. He became a full-time water reclamation operator in October 2001. I asked him a little bit about outside hobbies and such he likes to do, and his interesting response. He likes to build things like a lot of folks do, but he focuses on clean energy hobbies. So he likes to build things that work on solar power and wind power. So I found that to be really fascinating. Would love to see some of your work. And his most memorable family moment was he became a grandfather not too long ago. So congratulations, sir, and thank you for your 20 years of service. Next, if I could have Nick Gibbons join me up here. I don't know how many of you folks know Nick, but he's a real breath of fresh air and quite a character. I always enjoy meeting with Nick first thing in the morning because he really makes my day. Nick is currently our plant maintenance coordinator. Really specializes in being the electrician side of things, and he keeps our plants going, our lift stations. If it's got electricity in it, you'll find Nick's fingerprints all over at some point. In looking at his background, was fascinated. Nick grew up in England, and his memorable work moment was he left school, and that'd be our equivalent to high school, right? Left school, it's the age of 16 on Friday the 6th of 1974. And then the following Monday, he left home and reported for work at the training school to begin an apprenticeship in the power industry over in England. So he's basically 3 days out of high school, he started his career in the electrical industry. I guess one of the high or low lights of your career was when we, evening of January 3rd, 2010, he was the on-call supervisor for the Southwest plant, had a 20 feet of the 12.5 kilovolt B phase blown away. So that probably doesn't mean a lot to you, it doesn't mean a lot to me, but I imagine I'm seeing a large burned out area of wiring and electrics.
plant's down.
Yeah. Basically, the whole treatment plant is down for,
coming in, we don't know what to do with it.
so, yeah, people don't, when the plant stops working, we can't very well tell people to stop going, so it keeps coming, so. He oversaw setting up a pump, keep the facility working through the entire period until they could get it took 2 days for them to get the repairs made. And they did that successfully without having sanitary sewer overflows, which is another thing that's very key to me. Outside of work, one of the more interesting things that he put down on our questionnaire was he was working in Jacksonville Beach, working with the U.S. Navy. And he met a lady, this is his words, not mine. He met a lady at a hotel who invited him home for a meal. And so he took her up on the offer, and she introduced him to her daughter. And 3 months later, his wife Kathy married him, and that was nearly 29 years ago. So congratulations there, Nick. You did quite well. His community civic, he helps out in his wife's church. And he's been working informally with returning veterans, trying to help them readjust to regular life. And he does spend some time working with the union on contract negotiations with the city. So complete, well-rounded employee, 20 years of service. Nicholas Gibbons, thank you, sir. All right, next I would like to ask Jeff Elrod to come up. He is our acting manager for water distribution since John Riera retired. And with him is Mr. Jimmy Roberts. We would like to recognize Jimmy for his 20 years of service. So Jeff, take it away.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Good morning. I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate Jimmy for 20 years of service. Jimmy started his city career working at the Dome in the custodial department. When the raise came in, Jimmy needed a job. He came to the water department, and we were glad to have him. A few years later, Jimmy decided to take a promotion and go to work for Bayfront in the custodial department again. Well, we know what happened to Bayfront, so Jimmy needed a job again. So we took him back. It's been a pleasure working with Jimmy. He's currently working, taking care of all the fire hydrants within the city, some 6,500 fire hydrants. He paints them, lubes them, maintains them, makes sure they work. Jimmy's most memorable work moment, wasn't sure how to work this one is, but he got to meet Janet Jackson when he was working at the Dome. And very memorable for Jimmy. Jimmy is active in his church. He enjoys fishing, spending time with his grandson. And I want to congratulate him for 20 years of service.
Next up on the agenda is our Leisure and Community Services Department. If I could have Micah Nelson come on up.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Mika Nelson. I'm the director of the library system, not the Leisure and Community Services Department. That would be my esteemed supervisor, Clarence Scott. But I'd like to call up Paul Laverne, and his wife, I believe, is here today as well. Come on up, Paul. Paul is a member of our youth services team, which we affectionately call the Spark team, and he's being recognized for 25 years of service. And other members of the Spark team would say that he does so well with the kids because he's a big kid himself. I say that the Spark team said that, not me. So they couldn't be here today because they're out and about at a lot of our centers for the youth. They go to preschools, they go to daycares, they're out at the school system, a variety of schools, as well as doing in-house programming system-wide with our library. And I've got Beth Lindsay here, his supervisor, who will speak to some specific accomplishments. But before I do that, I just wanted to mention that he and his wife have 4 children, and they couldn't be here this morning. They're at school, but they send their love.
Paul started working in the St. Petersburg Library System 25 years ago as a part-time library aide in the reference department at Main Library while attending St. Pete JC. Over the years, Paul's worked at all of the St. Pete libraries. Twice he's been promoted, first to Library Assistant 1 and then his current position, Library Assistant 2. When Paul joined the Youth Services team at Main Library, he really found his niche. Paul presents story time, special events, and puppet shows at all of our libraries. Children of all ages look for Mr. Paul when they come into the library to talk about books or remind him where they saw him last. He takes his enthusiasm for libraries and the love of children with him wherever he goes, which over the years has included Snowfest, Times Festival of Reading, the St. Pete Science Festival, preschool, elementary, middle school, high schools all over the city, Black History Festivals, the Junior Leagues Care Fair, and so many more. And, of course, the St. Pete Rec Centers. In fact, this summer when we were visiting one of the children at one of the rec centers, one of the counselors asked Paul, how long had he been doing these programs? It turned out that both of the counselors that were there with those groups remembered Paul's story times from when they were in camp at that rec center.
That was kind of weird.
So
Congratulations.
please join us in congratulating Paul, and thank you, Christina, for being here as well. And next, I'd like to call up Ted Hugh. And Kelly Malizia, his supervisor, is also here with me somewhere behind me. We're congratulating Ted today on 20 years of service, and his wife Peggy and son Greg couldn't be here today, but they are here in spirit. I also wanted to recognize a couple co-workers who are here to support him as well, Matt Hughes and his right-hand man, and Pam Peterson from the Tech Services Department. I just want to say on a personal note that Ted is pretty much the backbone of our system in terms of the facilities and maintenance. He's currently our facilities maintenance coordinator, and he's also served the city of St. Pete as a maintenance worker 1 in the past. And as anybody knows, when it comes to facilities maintenance, there's never a shortage of things to be done, and the surprises never cease. And Ted always rolls with the punches and is right on top of things, and I couldn't ask for anybody better in that position. And I congratulate you, Ted, on 20 years of service. And Kelly will share some more highlights from Ted's career.
Hi, I'd like to tell you that Ted has received the Outstanding Performance Award twice, once in April of 1996 and once in January of 2010. He enjoys working with the city and especially appreciates how different departments work together. He enjoys the excellent teamwork he sees in the city of St. Petersburg most of all. Before joining the city, Ted was a crew chief for a land survey company for 10 years and also worked in construction for 10 years.
Please join us in congratulating Ted on his 20 years of service.
Just want to say thank you to my family and friends who have helped me out through the years, especially my wife of 33 years, Peggy, who couldn't be here today, and my son Gregory. Thank you very much.
And the final department today will be our ICS department. If I could have Muslim Gadawala come on up, please.
Well, good morning. Good to be last. Save the best for last. I want to introduce Bonnie Bach, who's been working with the ICS department in the city for 20 years. And Bonnie's joined by a number of members of the family who've taken the kids away, but I guess Peter's gone away with the kids too, huh? Okay, well, I'll introduce her family, and when they come on in, they can join us, but she's joined here by her ex-husband Peter, her daughters, Elizabeth and Tina. And then two of her grandkids, Emma and Isabel. Her third grandchild, Rosalind, couldn't make it because she's in school, but hopefully the rest of her family will show up and be up here at least for the photographs. Bonnie's been with the city for 20 years. She started initially with the Bayfront Center at the Mahaffey Theater. She worked there as an account clerk too. And then in 2003, she was hired by the ICS. She worked as an account clerk 1 and was hired by the ICS department in 2003 as an account clerk 2. In 2007, she was promoted to be an account technician. Bonnie's one of these people that's kind of the backbone of our department. She is just there, does what needs to be done, takes care of what needs to be taken care of. Like every other department in the city, budget cuts have been a reality. We've all lost staff, have had people do all kinds of other stuff. One of the areas that was significantly impacted by a lot of the budget cuts has been our help desk, 7,200. So when we're short of people up there, occasionally Bonnie will actually respond to 7,200 calls. So if you call 7,200, possibility that you may get her responding, which is way out of, what she's actually supposed to be doing, but that's always the way she works. Always smiling, always happy, always ready to take on whatever needs to be done. A couple of years ago, one of the interesting things that we did as a department was we consolidated all of the billing throughout the city for telephones, cables. Previously, every department used to get individual bills. They would pay them. Finance would write about 50, 60, 100 checks every month to a number of vendors. So we consolidated all of that, said, this is kind of silly to have so much repetition. All the bills will come into ICS and we'll charge them back to the departments. It was great. Finance used to write 3 or 4 checks now every month to the vendors. Guess who got to do all the work? All came down on Bonnie's desk, and she now gets the one big bill for the entire city, takes that bill, chops it all back up, charges all the departments appropriately. And the most fun part of her job is every time we have bills with the telephone companies, the cable companies, and we call them and say, hey, I don't need this service, cancel it. Guess what? Cable companies, telephone companies, real great. Next month, the same bill shows up with all the service charges that we already canceled. And then she gets to have fun working with it. And now, of late, most of these companies have also outsourced. So when you're looking to pay a bill with the telephone company, she's talking to some other third party and the phone company has no idea. So that's part of what she does almost on a day-to-day basis, and I want to thank her and congratulate her for 20 years with the city, and we look forward to a lot more. Thank you. And next, I'd like to call up Greg Cram and his wife, Debbie. Greg's also been with the city for 20 years and started in 1993 as a computer programmer analyst 3, and then was promoted to senior programmer analyst project lead in 2006. Greg, prior to coming with the city, worked up in New York for about 17 years with a number of IT companies, including folks like Arthur Andersen and stuff. So he came to the city extremely qualified. Greg primarily works with what we call our SunGuard systems, which are all the systems that are citizen-facing. Utility billing is his baby. He is the expert on utility billing. Just one of the things I'll address, in terms of the kinds of things that these guys do. We send out 90,000 bills every month to all of our residents. One of the things Greg did a long time ago was get all of our addresses CAS certified. And he does that every year. Annually, that saves the city about $80,000 in postage costs. So when you look at that over the 20 or 15 plus years that we've been doing this, almost 20 years, that's a lot of real money there in actual postage savings. Greg also works with a lot of things that are fairly behind the scenes, esoteric, but they impact citizens directly, like our rate increases and stuff. All of the analysis, all of the reporting, all of that stuff is all done by Greg, provided to the companies that do all of those rate analysis for us, and then they come back with what the billing should be, what the rates should be that the citizens pay. On a personal note, Greg enjoys playing competitive tennis and plays in the city-run tennis league. And I didn't even know there was a city-run tennis league, but I guess there is. Councilmember Dudley shaking his head too, you know. It's great, all the kinds of wonderful things you find out when people write little notes about what they do. Greg's accompanied by his wife Debbie, and unfortunately his two Bichons couldn't make it today, but they're, as Greg put it, Debbie's furry babies. I want to thank Greg for his hard work and 20 years of service, and look forward to a lot more. Thank you, Greg. Well, this is the part of the ceremony where Tish would be up here reading the names of those being recognized but could not attend, so I will fill in for her. 35 years celebrating David Frazier from Fire and Rescue, Edward Otts, Golf Courses, Peggy Millam, Legal Department, and Robert Poe, Sanitation. 30 years, we have Peter Gottschilling from Fire and Rescue, William Motter from Fleet Management, Roger Pruden, Golf Courses, Charles Boehm, Parks and Recreation, Sherry McBee, Parks and Recreation, Philip Brewer, Police Department, Dave Hawkins, Police, Lucinda Kennedy, Police Department, Brian Taylor, Police Department, James Wilkins, Sanitation. Celebrating 25 years, Glenn McKinnon, Billing and Collections, Rosalind Maxwell, Fire and Rescue, Arthur Meyer, Fire and Rescue, Carlos Daniels, Parks and Recreation, Ann Neal, Parks and Recreation, Donald Bovis, Police, William Burris, Police, Melinda Clayton, Police Department, Michael Egolf, Police Department, Karen Eichler, Police Department, Anthony Harris, Police Department, Richard Linkowitz, Police Department, Paula Mellinson, Police Department, Vincent Trebilla, Police Department, and Russell Zitzelberg, Police Department. From Sanitation, Diana Vitek. From Water Resources, Mark DeNoble. And from Water Resources, Frederick Sheeple. Celebrating 25 years, Billing and Collections, Dennis Moore. Downtown Enterprise Facilities, Barbara Dan, Janice Jackson, Wayne Merrill, and Vicki Such. From Engineering, Janice McKinnon. From Fire and Rescue, James Bracey. Fleet Maintenance, Murray Linseth, and Bobby Parker. From our golf courses, Joan Moore. From Planning and Economic Development, Angela Collins and Victoria Davidson. From our Police Department, Lynette Bergman and Bonnie Henderson. From Water Resources, Terrence Costello, McKinley Newsom, and Robert Sparks. We want to congratulate all of these and recognize their longevity. Thank you to the Employee Recognition Committee for all your work and for putting this on. And the last word, the final goodbye will be given by Councilmember Leslie Curran.
Thank you, Mayor. I apologize for being late this morning. My power went out, so of course my hair dryer wouldn't work, and then I went outdoors and said that really wouldn't have mattered anyway. But I wanted to make sure I was here today. I've made almost every employee recognition ceremony, and this is my last one. So I just want to thank all of you for everything that you do. I think when we heard Chief Williams earlier talk about co-sponsored events, we used to have 4 that we handle. Now there's something going on every day. Every day in this city is touched by a city employee, no matter what department you work for. And I know a lot of you I've worked with and really have had the great pleasure of working with you. Hopefully it was the same back toward me. A lot of you I haven't worked with directly, but really appreciate everything that you have done. And when we hear the description of what you've done on the job, what's even more important is when you hear about what you've done off the job, in your personal lives, with the community. And I think that's what's so great about St. Petersburg. Not only do we have fabulous city employees that are so serious and active in their jobs, but are also serious and active in the lives of others in the city of St. Pete and other communities where you may live. So I thank you for that. Thank you for all your service. Whether you've been here 5 years or 35 years, you're all extremely important to me and the city. And thank you very much.